Remember during the WNBA season? Oh my gosh, all the ratings, the record ratings, blah, 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 blah. But what did we say continuously here on this channel? Yeah, record ratings. Of course you guys are going to have record ratings. Nielsen changed how they count numbers. Of course their ratings are going to be more. It would be kind of embarrassing if they were that much less. Well, Sustainable, Unrivaled, their numbers came out and they are less.
For months, everything looked too perfect until the data started getting strange. That's when the cheering got even louder. The goalposts started moving, and suddenly there was this shiny new metric that made everything seem fine. Now there's this awkward silence that everyone's pretending doesn't exist. Here's what should keep you up at night. When a sports league has to reinvent how it measures victory, what's it really trying to hide from you?
Unrivaled could be seeing its final days as Paige, Beckers, and Gang could not save the viewership from tanking. What does this mean for the WNBA when they make their return back to TV? We finna talk about it all. I told you guys a couple months ago that the views was going down on the channel. Like, the WNBA content wasn't looking too good. I was one of the first people to say that about the whole genre itself. Told y'all we was going to be making big time changes on the channel. Now, I say that to say this. Now, there has been news to come out about Unrivaled viewership being down nearly 70%.
Everyone kept saying Unrivaled had cracked the code. A women's basketball revolution that would break every rule, build massive audiences, and somehow keep investors writing checks while athletes dominated on pristine hardwood floors.
They say. Unrivaled is sustainable. They say. They say. Ratings have come out for Unrivaled, and folks, if I was to say fall off a cliff, if I was to say significant drop off, I would be underselling how underperforming.
But let me tell you what opening night really delivered. They promised the moon, guaranteed success, spoke with the kind of certainty that makes you wonder if they actually read their own contracts. If this whole thing was built to last, then why did Season 2's debut look like a library during spring break?
So the first set of Unrivaled ratings are in, and it's been kind of grim. And by kind of grim, I mean really, really grim. If you are Unrivaled, this is, if these are your ratings every single week on True TV, it's not the biggest disaster in the world, because by the looks of things, these True TV ratings were similar enough to what they were a year ago. Similar enough to what they were a year ago.
The viewership numbers just dropped, and disappointing doesn't even begin to cover it. We're talking about a complete freefall here. These figures didn't just decline, they went into witness protection, found a bunker, and decided to stay there permanently.
They was cracking hella views to begin with. They wasn't even getting hella views at all last year. Now this year, their views is down by nearly 70%. This is very bad. Now, towards the decline of the WNBA season, towards the end of the season, we start seeing the WNBA kind of fudge the numbers, taking into account group party watch, well, basically watch party viewerships, counting those into, you know, effect like bars and stuff like that.
Let me paint this picture for anyone just tuning in. Season 1 launched like a rocket ship. Massive ratings, victory laps everywhere. Experts declaring that women's professional basketball had officially arrived and nothing could stop this freight train of success. But here's the catch. Those record numbers had some help. Nielsen completely overhauled their measurement system, artificially boosting ratings across every single sport. Everything suddenly appeared more popular than it actually was. Think of it like using a funhouse mirror to check your weight. Sure, the reflection looks great, but reality hits different. Jump ahead to Season 2. We're talking about nearly 140,000 fewer people deciding their Monday night was better spent doing literally anything else. Which proves that what goes up without real support comes crashing down hard. Those afternoon broadcasts pulled just 107,000 viewers. A figure that screams nobody even remembered these games were scheduled. And that's exactly the problem. Plenty of fans had zero clue Unrivaled was even back in business. You can stack your roster with incredible talent, but invisible games might as well not exist.
No interest in pretend basketball. I have been telling you guys for years, as the mainstream media has intentionally lied to us. These elite athletes are amazing! This is the best basketball in the world! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! We have been talking about this here on the channel for years. The so-called growth in women's basketball is an illusion.
The breakdown gets even more painful when you examine specific matchups. Breeze vs. Phantom managed 40,000 viewers on TNT, while Lunar Owls pulled 30,000 on TNT plus another 20,000 on True TV. Combined, that single game barely scratched 50,000 in the all-important 18-49 age group. For comparison, similar games last season were consistently hitting 90,000 to 100,000 viewers on TNT, before expanding to other networks. In under a year, this league transformed from rising phenomenon to textbook example of how fast excitement dies when expectations meet cold, hard facts. Executives who were planning expensive marketing campaigns and negotiating premium broadcast deals are now staring at spreadsheets that read like a disaster report. Primetime is shrinking. Afternoon slots are practically empty, and total viewership is nowhere near projected targets.
The fact that the Rose and Lunar Owls on the primetime slot on TNT had... I don't think this is 40,000 viewers, because I think this is the NA is the actual viewer. I think this is like the ratings numbers. I think this is in and around 100,000 viewers, which isn't good. Last year it was... Am I right in saying last year? Was last year at 1.0? No, last year was 0.1.
The truth stings like a public embarrassment in slow motion. Back down to earth. Back to basic physics. Back to the harsh realization that no amount of feel-good messaging can hide the fact that audiences have vanished. A huge part of this disaster comes down to promotion, or the complete lack of it. Season 1 rode a wave of social media buzz, smart marketing campaigns, and genuine excitement around a can't-miss sporting event. Season 2 showed up with all the fanfare of a midnight grocery run. Fans weren't reminded, notified, or even gently nudged. You could argue the league forgot to inform its own audience that games were actually happening. Making matters worse, the ratings methodology was supposed to provide a safety net. Nielsen is rolling out their Big Data Plus panel system by late 2025, combining traditional tracking with streaming data from smart TVs, third-party analytics, and every other metric imaginable. For most sports, this approach inflates viewership, transforms mediocre events into apparent blockbusters, and delivers the kind of numbers that make advertisers reach for their wallets. The initial Unrivaled
TV numbers are not good for season 2, that is, which is certainly no cause for celebration, but is cause for concern. When I say the first part, it's because I guarantee you there are going to be a lot of people racing to like rub it in and do like a and I'm rooting for Unrivaled success. I like the idea, the concept, the mission statement, and all of those things, but you also have to deal with the reality of it.
Even with this technological boost on the horizon, Unrivaled's audience numbers stayed flat. Smart TVs, Karperneff's data, advanced panels, none of it could rescue a league that had essentially abandoned the fan base it claimed was central to its long-term vision. The contradiction is almost comedic. This organization launched with promises of innovation, cutting-edge thinking, and genuine sustainability. Yet it can't maintain an audience for its flagship broadcasts. The data tells an unforgiving story of arrogance, botched promotion, and fans who either lost interest or never knew there was a sequel to follow. Investors, who represent the financial backbone of any startup league, are definitely questioning their commitments. The athletes bring skill, dedication, and fierce competition, but great sports entertainment requires more than raw talent. It demands smart packaging, strategic promotion, and audience engagement. When fans don't show up in meaningful numbers, you end up with an elite showcase performed for an essentially empty room. It's like preparing a 5-star feast that nobody shows up to taste. Excellent quality, terrible business model.
Know this, and I put this out on the Twitter, and I mean, hell, the tweet didn't even get that much interaction. Look, the Unrivaled League is in all kinds of damn trouble. They're in all kinds of trouble. Don't you find it odd that the league and the Fire...
There's no dancing around this reality. Season 1 of Unrivaled averaged over 300,000 viewers for its opening night. This year, primetime draws 175,000. Afternoon games pull 10,000. That drop isn't a minor adjustment. It's an earthquake. Fans who were once invested have disappeared. Many didn't realize the season had even started again. The whole narrative about a sustainable, expanding league begins to read like marketing copy disconnected from actual results. A league might survive without breaking viewership records, but it can't survive without basic awareness, genuine engagement, or the sense that its games have cultural relevance. The ultimate irony is that even with the most advanced measurement technology being deployed, Unrivaled is still underperforming. Nielsen's Big Data Plus panel system, the same upgrade that will boost ratings for virtually every major sport, won't magically resurrect a league that has lost its connection to viewers. This is simple arithmetic where one side of the equation is missing. Potential fans exist, but actual viewers have gone elsewhere. You can deploy algorithms, smart TV data, and comprehensive analytics, but if nobody is pressing play, the math still doesn't work.
For starters, it's easy to show growth when you're growing from nothing to almost nothing. But people were not watching women's basketball. People were not paying $10 to be sedated while the Chicago Bravado airballed layups against the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces. Contrary to the prevailing narrative in the mainstream media, Angel Reese is not a draw. AJ Wilson, but my name is...
What does this spell out for investors and league executives? Negotiating leverage disappears. Strategic roadmaps need complete overhauls. And any projections based on stable viewership require serious reality checks. Momentum can't be manufactured. Excitement can't be created overnight. And marketing buzz can't replace an audience that's both informed and invested. Season 2 of Unrivaled might feature incredible talent, athletic excellence, and thrilling competition. But the brutal truth is that leagues need more than great players to survive. They need viewers watching, conversations happening, and social media engagement that extends far beyond the final buzzer. In the end, Unrivaled Season 2 serves as a wake-up call about assumptions, marketing, and the gap between a successful launch and long-term viability. Viewership collapsed, excitement faded, and even the most sophisticated measurement systems can't create an audience that isn't there. Fans are essential, awareness is critical, and sustainability means actual results, not just promises. Unrivaled might find a path forward, but its claims about being a self-sufficient, enduring league are facing serious questions. Without major corrections, this organization risks being remembered for unmet expectations rather than outstanding basketball.
Unrivaled ratings are in to begin season 2, and they're not great. To be honest, what should have been kind of expected. This is the second season. You're probably going to peak at the first time you come out, which last year I believe they were in the 300s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to pull up the numbers in just a second. The Athletics Ben Pickman put them out. Saw people talking about the key demo rating as well. That was like kind of some misinformation from folks that don't know how ratings.
The big question now becomes, where did all the fans go? Was it poor marketing, genuine disinterest, or just the temporary nature of sports excitement? Can this league figure out how to rebuild its audience before the failure narrative becomes permanent? Time will reveal whether Unrivaled can change course, or if the sustainability promise was always just smoke and mirrors. Clever branding without real foundation. Right now, the numbers are speaking much louder than the marketing, and they're telling a story of decline, disappointment, and a league fighting to match its own expectations. Unrivaled can keep claiming sustainability, but a league without viewers is like a smartphone without battery. It might look impressive and have all the right features, but it's completely useless. The optics matter tremendously here. Because in sports entertainment, perception frequently trumps reality. You could have sold out arenas, world-class athletes, and heart-stopping finishes. But when the official numbers tell a different story, everything changes instantly. Season 2 of Unrivaled is a perfect example of how quickly hype disappears. One day you're being celebrated as the future of women's professional basketball. The next day your primetime audience wouldn't fill a coffee shop. That's not sustainability. That's an alarm bell ringing so loud you need noise-canceling headphones to ignore the statistics.
And I believe part of the reason is, hey, Project B has put the writing on the wall for Unrivaled. All right? It's no way around it. There's two things at work here. Number one, there's going to be a sale of Warner Brothers Discovery to somebody, whether it's Netflix or whether it's Paramount. And we've already found out, well, part of that most likely will be that the one place you can stream.
The promotion problem, or complete absence of promotion, for Unrivaled games can't be ignored. Season 1 succeeded because everyone knew it was happening. Even casual sports fans were intrigued enough to check it out. and social media turned every highlight into must-see content. Then there's the technological irony, working against the success story. Nielsen's shift to big data plus panel ratings was designed to help leagues by providing more complete viewership data that typically inflates numbers across all sports. For almost every other athletic competition, this results in celebration headlines about record-breaking audiences. Thursday night football gets inflated. Primetime events get inflated. Unrivaled barely saw any movement. Advertising dollars, future broadcast contracts, sponsorship agreements, they all depend on one crucial element: the audience. A decline from 300,000 to 75,000 viewers isn't just a minor statistical detail. It's a red flag indicating the league might need to revise its approach, lower its expectations, or brace for financial realities that nobody initially planned for. The whole concept of a sustainable league is starting to feel more like wishful thinking than measurable achievement. It's also worth considering what this means for the fans who actually did tune in.
By the way, television numbers are not one-to-one with revenue. Rights deals get signed, agreements get signed, money that comes in, ad dollars can all be, independent specifically of the ratings, but the ratings tend to influence the media rights deal and the overall numbers that come in and what advertisers are expecting. So of course, that's why they often become a story. And in this case, you're in the second season of Unrivaled, so you're curious to see how it.
Season 2 might showcase elite athletes, compelling matchups, and high-level competition, but there's something hollow at watching when the crowd is thin or seeing your favorite contest buried in an overlooked broadcast slot. The energy that powers live sports, expert analysis, fan engagement, social media buzz, simply evaporates when the audience shrinks this dramatically. The magic of athletic competition loses half its appeal when the shared experience vanishes, leaving the lead with pure skill and strategy, but none of the excitement that makes people emotionally invested. Ultimately, this situation teaches lessons on multiple levels. Athletic talent doesn't guarantee sustainability. Excitement is temporary. Fans might return, the league could adapt, and future games might see viewership rebounds if the right adjustments get made. But right now, the message is crystal clear. You can promise sustainability, showcase incredible talent, and market as aggressively as possible. But if audiences don't return, nothing else works. Viewership numbers are the final judge, and for Season 2, they've delivered a harsh verdict, indicating that Unrivaled has serious work ahead if it wants to fulfill its own promises.